You don't listen too good, do you, boy? You and your friends don't want to go to Camp Blood.
They didn't heed the warning.
Oh, guys, this is awesome.
They ignored the screams that echoed through the woods that night.
Now we're lost. We don't have a guide. It's just a matter of time before he kills us all one by one.
Oh, Jesus.
George.
The clown isn't real. It's just a story that some of us locals made up to scare the tourists away.
He's real, I'm telling you. He killed my friends and now he's gonna kill me and he's gonna kill you.
Warning. Due to the violent nature of this program, no one under 17 will be permitted to wear 3D glasses. If you have a taste for terror, camp out at Camp Blood.
Greetings. You're watching Septum Sin vs. the World. I'm Septum Sin. Well, I like B-movies. If you haven't gotten that from my channel, please visit my blog spot. It's old, it's decrepit, it's been a while since I've updated, but if you're wondering why I've got 233 reviews and you're wondering where the last couple hundred have gone from, that's where they all are. They're all over there. And I have expressed many times my love for the B-film. There is a charm about that type of industry. A real wonder. There is, what people can do with so little. They don't have to strive for the highest acting budget. They don't have to strive for the best effects. They take what they have and they go for it. Some of these movies actually make it big. Paranormal Activity or Blair Witch. Blair Witch had high potential of being a B movie, but somehow made it into the A game. But most of them remain B movies. They have a cult following and they have their love. This is a series that I came across while looking at another series. I, of course, have been inspired by many people on YouTube. Cool Duder and Wet Movie 1, they are, of course, the two chief inspirations that I had for doing these. And they all had dealings with this producer, David Sterling. He's a great guy. I've actually liked what I have seen of his, and I heard about this witchcraft series they were in. So I apparently do travel in some of the same circles because of Facebook groups and stuff, and was able to find that he sells a lot of his stuff personally. So I was able to get copies of the witchcraft series, and then saw the series for Camp Blood. And I'd remembered the name Camp Blood. I don't remember where I'd heard the name, but I was extremely interested in that, even more so than the witchcraft series. So I was able to get a hold of, for a decent price, the third through the sixth movie. Of course, then I started the hunt for the first two. And that's when I came across Camp Blood Trilogy, which has two movies, the two original Camp Blood movies, and a third that's not quite canon in the series. So I was very interested. I wanted to dive right in. I had to finish Astro Boy first, but now I am all in, and we are going to be enjoying these next few reviews going through the Camp Blood series. That's where my priorities are going to be at this point. So, let's start with the original film, Camp Blood. So I'll show the back of this. And this is a legit copy. I was surprised. I thought to myself, oh, it can't be. But nope, Region 1. I was very happy with this. And if you find this is a gem, you grab hold of it. These are out of print. So, Camp Blood is essentially about, well, it's Friday the 13th, essentially, but with a killer clown. That's the simplest explanation. The first movie follows two couples. They are going off into the woods, some of them to settle their old differences, try and get themselves back together again. The other couple just going, to have some fun. They're going off to the woods, do some camping. They hired a guide to show them some of the cool historical spots in the area, without knowing about the tragedy that has happened in these woods. Though, once they get there, they are forewarned that there is danger in the woods. They ignore the warnings. Oh, they shouldn't have ignored the warnings. So, let's talk about what the positives are. When I rate B movies, I do rate them on a slightly different scale. I'm not going to hold them to the effects levels or acting levels that I see in the A game. But that also means I hold the A game to higher standards, so B-level acting is going to get a major downgrade in an A game movie. So, the acting in this actually is pretty good. There's a little bit of woodenness there, but in truth, I was actually quite impressed. I enjoyed the performances. The characters were quirky and, for the most part, likable. The premise was a simple one, and the formula is the slasher formula. You have the teens. You've got the different types of teens. And there's a gamut. Cabin in the Woods kind of set these standards, but they're not the universal standards. There's actually more than the types that they let out. There are many different types. And, 4 of these archetypes ended up going out in the woods. And, of course, ignoring the Harbinger. And the Harbinger did some double duty, but I won't spoil this for you. So you get the Harbinger character who, of course, warns them about this. So they ignore the warning and they violate this anyway, this time being the sanctity of the camp. So after that, they, go out in the woods, you get acquainted with them a little bit more, and then they start getting killed. And of course, you have your obligatory boob shots and sex. I mean, these teens, they have sex all over the woods, or in the windows, in the bathrooms, and wherever they can do it. Though this is not actually as bad as I would have thought. There's enough in it to actually say, look, we're this type of movie. Here you go. There's something else to throw yourself in on this. But not so much as me to say, oh gosh, another John Johnson picture. I mean, it's actually not as over the top. It's actually right there with some of the A-game horror films, in my opinion. The villain is just a man. The supernatural element is not there, and maybe it will come later on. I'm sure it will. But for the time being, the killer is very human. Now, there's a point where actually the killer's caught off guard and has to retreat. That tells me, this killer has to actually bring his A game in order to outwit these unwitting youngsters and take them out. I also thought that the ending had an interesting twist to it. I look forward to watching the second movie because from what I have read on the back, it looks like they pick it up where this left off. So with this, I am sad to see it out of print because it really was fun to watch. I look forward to the next one, and that's great. I had been getting some disappointment in the B game lately, and it really does hearten me to see this. So what was bad? There were a couple of things that I was not as impressed with. I felt like there was some rehashing that wasn't as necessary, and I felt like the main character, the survivor girl, wasn't as likable as I wish that she would be. Personally, you've got a survivor character. That character needs to be fully likable. You need to be able to say, I want to root for this person. And she really kind of bothered me for the first part of it. I eventually felt for her, but I didn't feel I identified with her as closely. But with that, that's really it. I mean, there are the hallmarks of the B movie, but those you already know about. If you're watching a B film, you know about those weaknesses already. And many of them were actually shored up by locations, by costume design, and actually by decent acting. So with this, I give this a fairly high rating. I give this a 7 out of 10. I don't feel quite like an 8 out of 10, though it does edge higher than 7, maybe 7.4-ish or something. But it was really good. So I got to really finish 2 pretty awesome works. I mean, Astro Boy followed by this actually feels pretty good. And this is a great kicker, a great kickoff, I should say, for the Halloween season. So, sit tight. We've got 6 more films to review, and I will be here doing the reviewing. So, I will see you next time. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share, and of course comment. I will be glad to hear it. But if you have a chance, pick this up. This particular one was really good. I won't have really a link because I've looked it up on Amazon again. It was unavailable, and then it was available, then it was unavailable. So just, type in the search for it. I'm sure you'll find a copy. But in any case, take care, and I hope to see you on the next one.